Hello everyone. So we will be solving the third problem of this contest, CodeForces round 1099, which is Div.2. Before starting the problem, a few things I would like to mention. The first one is that I would be starting a Discord channel for you all, as many of you said. So I will be putting the link of it in the description. You can do check it out. If you want to join, you can join that as well. Let's create a community of coders at that place. And the second thing is, I was a bit inconsistent due to some reasons, so sorry for that. I will be more consistent now. Will be uploading solutions of almost every problem that I could. All right, so after this, let's start the problem statement. This is the third problem of the contest, a good one. Let's read the problem first. So the problem says that while exploring the depths of internet, the Theodore the chipmunk found a very interesting sequence of positive integers and decided to play with it. In one operations, he chooses an element of the sequence and performs the following action. If the chosen element is even, he can simply divide it by 2, and if it is odd, first he will increase it by 2, and then he will have again the sequence that becomes an odd number, right? Even number. Like let's say if he had a 5, really sorry for this. Um, let's say he had a 5, right? Okay, so if he had a 5, he will convert this into 6 first, and after 6 this becomes an even. So even will be converted into, this can be, now the process will keep continuing, means he can divide it by 2 and make it 3. Then again it is an odd number, so he needs to add a plus 1 in this, it becomes 4, and so on and so forth. So this is the general flow of the problem statement, right? So Theo loves equality, so he wants to make all the numbers in the sequence equal, otherwise some numbers might feel offended. All right, there's a story behind it. So since he needs to plan his lunchtime, help him determine the minimum number of operations required by him to make all the numbers equal, right? So if you look at the time constraints, n can be till 1e5, right? And the value of ai can be till 1e9, right? All right, the elements of the sequence are this till 1e9, right? So it is guaranteed that the sum does not exceed 1e5. So we need to write a solution which is in the order of big O of n log of n, right? You can't write a solution which is in order of big O of n square, right? Because n is till 1e5. So the solution must be in the bounds, right? All right. So let's look at test case and try to figure it out. Let's say 3 to 4, right? So while you read this problem, did you have any thought behind the problem statement? Like let's say you had 3 to 4, right? So first things first, could you think of something like, can an element be increased by some value? Let's say if you had an odd element, then you can increase its value, right? But what happens if the element is even? You can't increase its value any given day, right? You can't make 2 into a 4, right? Or you can't make 2 into a 5, or so on and so forth. So you can't increase its value. You can increase its value, but by at most 1 only, right? So this is the first observation which we should have, that the value should be should be minimum. What does this mean? Value should be minimum means the value, all the rest of the elements which we have in our array, we would like to make the smallest make the all the elements come to the smallest element. Like if you had, let's say, 1 2 3 4 5 6, so you will try to make every element into 1, right? There is one more catch to it, I will add that as well. But I hope you're getting this point, that you would love to make every element into 1, because you can't make 1 into 4 or 1 into 5 or 1 into 3. You can make 1 into 2, but as of now, let's think that after plus 1 you can't make any values after this, right? So till this point, I hope you are on the same page with me, right? So the first observation was to make the make all elements reach the smallest element, right? And somehow you could feel it, right? Okay, the next observation right? Oh, we were talking about a test case. First, let's look at that. Or else some of you might get like, why are you saying that you will run a test case and not running it? Like let's say we want to make every element into 2. All right, my earphones got disconnected, sorry for that. Let's again run it from at this place, right? So what I was talking was, let's say I want to make the value 2, right? Let my value, final value should be 2, right? For this 3 to become 2, how many steps will it require? It will require 3 plus 1, because first it's an odd number, you convert it into 4, then 4 get converted to 2, right? So it took 1 and 2, 2 steps, right? Okay, how many steps for 2 to become 2? 0 steps, right? Now let's say 4. So how many steps would 4 take require to become a 2? 4 divided by 2, it becomes a 2, right? So we can see that any we can see that here the value is 1 plus 2, which is 3, right? So I hope the problem statement is clear. If you want, we can look at one more test case. um, let's look at the third one, right? Which is 1 2 4, right? 1 4 2, right? Let's first try to convert 1, right? So let's see how many steps would it require. So it will take 0 steps for 1. For 4 it will take 4 becomes 2 and then becomes 1, took 2 steps, and then 2 took 2 becomes 1, 1, which is also 3, right? um, let's see what happens if we try to convert this 1, this to every element into 2, right? First we need to see that is it even possible for us to convert it into 2, right? Let's see. So 1 is an odd number, so we can convert that 1 into 2 in one step, and then we can convert this 4 into 2 in one step, right? So it only took 2 steps for us to complete all the transactions, therefore the minimum of these two is 2, right? Now you might argue that, hey, few minutes ago you told me that the value which we should have should be the minimum value, right? And in this case the minimum value was 1, then why are you converting it into 2, right? 2 is not the minimum value, why are you converting it into 2? This question should come to your mind, right? And if it didn't, you should be aware. See, when you are solving problems now, try to have a clear view of why the problem statement or your solution works, right? If you don't have a clear state that why the solution works, in future you might not understand a new concept or new problem, you might not be able to solve it because you don't have an idea of how that solution worked, right? So sorry for this much gyan. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say you had a 1, right? My consult was, you try to convert the minimum every element into mini element, right? The first step should always be this, right? But let's say let me write it straight, right? So let's say but your minimum element was an odd element, right? Then it might not be possible every time that you convert every element into that element, means an odd element, right? It might be a case like, let's say your element was 3, the smallest element was 3, and in your array the element was 8, right? Another element, let's call it a1, let's call it a5, for any random value, right? Can you convert this 8 into 4? No, you can't. But let's say you saw that, okay, this element is an odd element, then I have an operation that I can make this element into 3 plus 1, right? I can make convert it into 4, right? This might take me one step, right? But I don't care about it, right? So you can convert that element into 4, right? And now 8 can become 4, right? So there is a possibility that you can the second thing that should come to your mind is, if you have a smallest element, let's call that smallest element as mini, right? So if mini, you have a mini, right? You will try out all possible values of mini. Now what does this mean, right? See, let's say your mini was 6, right? And your array contain an element, let's call it 14, right? Now if I say I want to try to make 14 into 6, I want to convert this 14 into 6, is it possible? Definitely not. But what if you could have, let's say you had only two elements, then you will say, no, it is not possible for me to convert this 14 into 6, right? So what does this mean? There is no possibility of an answer? No, there is a possibility. And how is that? If you have an even element, you simply convert that even element into, you first check that can I make my all elements into 6. All right, you will see that okay, I have a 14. 14 can be converted to 7. 7 is an odd number. You convert it into 8. 8 can be converted into 4, then 2, then 1, right? But there is no 6, right? Okay, then you will think, okay, if I can't convert my element into 6, why not break down my 6, right? I have an opportunity to break down my 6 into a smaller element. So let's do that. So if I have a 6, 6 will be converted into 3. Now you will again do a check. Can my element 14 become a 3? You will see no, it doesn't become a 3, right? You will say, okay, let me then again convert it into it, break it down into further steps, right? So if you have a 3, you will say it's an odd number, it becomes 3 plus 1, which is 4. Now you will see, is 4 available in my array? You will say yes, 14 can be converted into 4. So what are the steps you got? You saw, find the minimum element, right? If it is an odd element, make it mini plus 1 as well. Try to make it mini plus 1 as well and see if what is the answer. And after that, do the steps given to you. What are the steps? If it's an odd element, do a plus 1 on the value, on the mini, right? On mini, don't get it wrong, right? On mini, do odd plus plus and try to see that can we make all the elements of the array into this value. Let's call it val, right? Can we convert this all the elements into val? If yes, what are the number of steps, right? What are the number of steps as well? You will find that as well. After finding the steps, what you will do, you will simply say, okay, let's try out all possible values, right? There might be a condition that this, I'm not pretty sure that how much uh, mm, wrong I might be, but there is a possibility that every number can't be converted into, let's say, as told you, 6 and 14. Every number on the right hand side after sorting won't be directly get converted into a specific element. So in that case, we need to try out all possible values, and I am pretty sure that the proof to this is also there, but that might be very 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 lengthy, so I'm trying not to avoid it. But I hope you understood this point, that you need to try out all possible values, right? All right, so that was it. Let's see the solution for it, right? So what I did is, one more thing, like let's say you had a value 2, right? After, when you convert this 2 into, you can convert it into 1, right? And this 1 again it becomes 2, then again it 2 becomes 1. So what can you notice at this point? The thing which you can notice is, if you hit 1, right, then there is no possibility that you can convert it into any other element except for 2 and 1, right? 1 can be converted only to 2 and 1. Getting it? So whenever you have a value, try to think, try to understand, whenever you have a 1, whenever you reach a 1, you can go to 2 and then again back to 1. So make sure that you don't get in an infinite loop when you are reaching the 1, right? I hope this thing is clear to you. So there's a simple hack to handle it. Not a hack, it's a basic flag thing. You will understand it pretty soon, right? All right, so what I'm doing is I am taking the array's input, right? Then I'm sorting the array's element. Then val is array of 0, right? The smallest element. Then mini is, solve function will find how many steps would I require to make every element into a mini element, right? If my val, which is the smallest element, if it's an odd element, then I will add an plus 1 to it, right? And then what I'm trying to do is, while my val modulo 1 is not equal to 1, so I can go until my value is all the means the smallest element does not become 1. I can find out all the steps till then, right? And how are we finding the steps? Steps is number of steps is equal to solve val of array, and minimum number of steps we are updating it every time. right? And after this, what we are doing is we are simply checking if it's an odd element, we are doing a +1, else a divide by 2, right? Okay, now let's quickly look into the solve steps, right? So it is total number of steps, right? You're traversing from 0 to n. You do a num equal to array of I, flag equal to 1, steps equal to 0, and int 1 equal to 2. At the time of solving the problem, I took flag, right? I will show you why as well. So while my num is not equal to val and 1 is, you can come back to 1 twice. So see, why am I doing this? Let me explain that as well. So there might be a case when your element was already 1, right? And 1 could be converted to 2, right? Let's say you had, let's take an example for this. Let's say you had 1 1 1 1 1 1, no, 1 2 2 2 2 2, right? So tell me one thing, is it better, not better for this 1 to be converted into 2 rather than converting all the 2's into 1, right? All the 2's getting converted to 1 will take 4 steps. Rather, 1 can be converted into a 2 in just a single step, right? So that's what my thought was. My thought was key, you can have a 1, right? And at max you can go 2 operations with 1, right? After that, if your value is not still reached, then that means 2 is not your value, right? So this is a simple trick for you to not get into infinite loop with 1, right? So I have just added a flag that okay, 1 can come twice. After that, if you don't get a value, just break out, right? Okay, so let's get back. While num is not equal to val and 1 is there, right? 1 is 2, you can get 1 twice, right? So we are doing just a steps plus plus. If num modulo 2 is equal to 1, if num is equal to 1, you do a 1 minus minus, right? And else you do a num plus 1, right? Same thing which we did earlier, right? So last thing which is there, if num is not equal to val, we simply do flag equal to 0. Means after breaking of this while loop, if you still didn't get any chance for getting the num converted to, or the array element getting converted to the initial value, then you will say flag equal to 0. And if the flag is equal to 0, return a very large number representing that there is not a possibility for the number getting converted to, for all the elements getting converted to that number, right? I hope I'm making steps, I'm making sense, right? So the final step is you, until you will return a total number of steps, and after that you will simply store the minimum number of values which will come to you, right? I hope I was able to make the problem solution efficient to you. Let's quickly look at the time complexity as well, right? So we have an log of n complexity because every time for an element, let's say the element was x, so we broke down into log of n times, right? Almost log of n times, so it will be log of x, right? And after that you are getting into n every element of the array, and every element of the array again gets converted into log of, let's say, y, right? Why this? See, initially this is the first while loop which we had, let's say x become x by 2, or rather this one, right? This is log of x time complexity, right? Then we go into, we go on all the elements, so it takes n, big of n, and again we will take run a log of y loop time. Why? Because this is again log of y time complexity, so ultimately it is log of x into n log of y, right? I hope I'm making sense to you, right? All right, so this was the solution for the problem. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I will put the code in the comments and also add the Discord link for it, right? Thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, ask it. If you have more questions, please do drop down the questions. Would love to help you out. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe and like. Gives a lot of motivation for me. Thanks for watching.